Well, thank you for this opportunity. This is my second time. My name is Necati Catbas. I think about a year and a half ago, I talked about structural health monitoring applications. Today, I'm going to I'm going to be talking about some of the other aspects of structural health monitoring, and I'm going to talk about permanent continuous monitoring versus mobile and intermittent monitoring. Permanent continuous for major structures, landmark structures versus just routine or network of structures, mobile monitoring applications. So I would like to start my presentation with the ASC report card, which is issued by American Society of Civil Engineers. The last report card was issued in 2021, and as you can see, the grade of the overall US infrastructure is rated C-. And what does that mean? That it means we have to have major investments to bring the infrastructure to acceptable levels. Therefore, we need technology here. We need to apply different types of technology for infrastructure to better understand our existing stock of structures, as well as making more informed decisions. In terms of utilizing the technology, the two things that I would like to mention is structural health monitoring and structural identification. And this slide is kind of capturing my research interests. And we are looking at different steps of structural identification, which is summarized in a book that we published in 2013. And there are 6 steps here, from defining objectives to modeling, experimentation, this is structural health monitoring, non-destructive evaluation, data analytics tools, models, and integrating all of those for better decision making. So this is kind of capturing the essence of my interest and research areas. A little bit more into the structural health monitoring or monitoring aspects. There are 4 components, starting with sensors, data collection. Again, these 4 steps are also research interests of mine. The first step is collecting data, and you can use sensors, non-contact sensors, cameras, etc. And then the communication of the data, and then the computation part of it, which is very, very important, where we can utilize AI, deep learning, and machine learning applications. Very common, many people are using those. And the last one is the control part, where we kind of bring all of these to make decisions about our structure by closing the loop of this entire process. So now I would like to start with structures that are major, that are critical, landmark or high occupancy structures. Those structures deserve permanent and continuous monitoring. And I'm going to give examples of these type of structures right now. The first one is the one that I worked on almost 20 years ago, and you can see the monitoring screen here from 2002, where cameras or machine learning or deep learning didn't exist. We created a very unique monitoring system at that time because this is a very unique structure, historic and landmark structure, Commodore Barry Bridge near Philadelphia. So this type of bridges or structures require dedicated monitoring systems, permanent and continuous monitoring systems. The second structure that I would like to talk about is a different one, which is an underwater tunnel that's connecting 2 continents, Europe and Asia. That's in Istanbul. That's called Eurasia Tunnel. And you can see the control room here. And it's a major project. And you need to have a monitoring system for immediate decision making for a structure like this. And this deserves a dedicated permanent continuous monitoring system. One thing that I would like to mention here is that one of the key persons who are involved in this project is one of my former Ph.D. students. So I'm very proud of that from that perspective. Another project that I am very happy to be a part of, and also proud to be a part of, is the 1915 Çanakkale Bridge, which is very recently opened, and now it is the longest bridge in the world. And it's, you can see These are the engineers who are involved in the monitoring, engineers and administrators involved in the monitoring of the bridge. And you can see the monitoring station here. And you have dedicated people, you have permanent system, because it's a critical bridge. You cannot wait for issues to evolve and become very dangerous. So for this type of structure, you also need a permanent continuous monitoring system. And I've been involved as a consultant to this project, and I'm very happy to be part of it and happy to bring UCF name to this project. I also mentioned for structures that require permanent and continuous monitoring systems. I also mentioned that high occupancy building. This is one example, and we all know about this tower, Champlain Tower near Miami, and what happened was last summer this structure collapsed, killing 98 people. And the question here is, could a permanent continuous structural health monitoring system have helped mitigate this type of problem? In my view, to a certain extent, yes. And we have to explore how this can be developed. And if you look at the current investigation, for example, NIST as a federal agency is investigating the causes of the failure, and they are tapping into technology. And my thinking is, can we use technology not after the failure, but before the failure? Can we develop technologies to kind of give alarms? Can we promote and encourage owners of such buildings to use these technologies before the failures? I think this is my point that I would like to make for permanent and continuous monitoring. But when we talk about regular structures or small bridges, miles of roads, or populations of small structures, can we invest in permanent systems and people dedicated for monitoring? I don't think so. For those, I think we need to develop and utilize mobile and intermittent monitoring systems. That's an area that I'm also involved in. And I'm going to show some examples for those. So this is a communication tower from the UCF area. And this tower is monitored using the computer vision application. And here we can apply our specific algorithms for damage and condition assessment. And we can understand the condition of the structure. And we can do it intermittently and see the changes over time. We are also exploring edge computing so that we can embed things or algorithms for damage assessment or computer vision type of algorithms to the devices. So that's one application that we are looking at. Another example is I-4 bridges. And you can think about on I-4, there are many bridges, highway overpasses, and miles and miles of pavements. So what can we do for those? Again, I think we can utilize mobile and intermittent monitoring system. One of the things that I would like to mention is my collaboration with Nexco USA, and we have scanned many bridges on I-4 and elsewhere using infrared and regular cameras. And with this, you don't need to close the bridge to traffic. Let me see if I can start the video. You don't need to close the bridge to traffic. You can collect the data, and you can obtain very objective data for decision making. And this is another application from Jacksonville area. And very recently, we finished another bridge near NASA. So we have different applications. Again, I'm continuing with mobile and intermittent applications. This is the variable application using HoloLens. And here we are tracking cracks and spallings, which are carried out by inspectors biannually. And they use, they take pictures, they take notes, and but here we are using this technology with the HoloLens, as you can see, and we are tracking the cracks, and the computer is, which is trained elsewhere, is telling us the cracks and lengths and volumes. And the nice thing here is that the human can interact with the interact with the computer. So this is showing the spalling, so cracks and spallings, and you can collect, and you can tell the computer change settings, and you can better characterize the deficiencies, and the repairs can be made accordingly after these data are being collected. Another application that I would like to show for Mobile-Intermittent is for payment assessment. And this is in collaboration with iProbe, a company that's promoting the payment scanning. And there's very good technology here, very effective. And it's kind of crowd-based assessment of payment. And there are specific algorithms in this instrumented vehicle. The vehicle has different type of sensors, but there are some damage indices that I cannot talk about in detail about this in the index right now. But at the end, what we obtain is we are using these specialized indices, and the road conditions are mapped and identified for decision making. So this is again with my collaboration with iProbe. That's a Virginia-based entity company. Some other application is load testing using not sensors. These are generally carried out using sensors, but instead of sensors, we use cameras. Here, we are looking at the formation of the structure using the cameras here, and also the vehicles. We are tracking the vehicles, we are integrating those and obtaining load rating. We have filed an IP for this, and with one of my Ph.D. students. A similar application for a railroad bridge for mobile intermittent tracking. We are collecting data. Again, you don't need to stop traffic. You don't need to attach any sensors, and you can collect deformations that can be used for decision making. So at the end, what we are trying to do is we are trying to integrate all of these technologies for mobile and intermittent monitoring. We are utilizing non-contact technologies in a way that we can quickly and rapidly identify structures behavior. Again, we can use vehicles, we have been using drones, HoloLenses, portable cameras, and very recently we have obtained an autonomous robot which we designed. We are still fine-tuning this robot. We haven't fully exploited the robotic application here, but that's another application that we would like to bring together. And my last slide in terms of application here is that where we can integrate all of these technologies for decision making. So different SHM technology, monitoring technologies, algorithms that we have developed, and indices can be brought in a virtual environment. And here we are showing one example from a real bridge from our campus. And with this application here, with the virtual immersed system, we can present our findings to engineers, inspectors, anywhere in the world. They don't need to come to the bridge. They don't need to come to the site. We bring the structure to them along with the data, along with the indices, findings, and they can collaborate in this virtual environment. So that's an area that we are also working on, and we would like to bring all of this information in this virtual platform. So with that, I would like to finish my presentation by acknowledging primarily my current and past students who have done all this work. I'm just presenting on their behalf, and my postdoctoral associates, visiting scholars, and along with several research collaborators that I listed here. I might have not listed some people or because of the space and everything, but there are several people that I work with. And also I would like to acknowledge the contribution of or support of different companies and people that support our research. I am interested in collaboration in sensing, data analytics, especially with the hardware part, sensors, FPGAs, and robotic application, drones. So these are some areas that I am interested in collaborating. With that, I would like to finish my presentation. Thank you.